Listen to this story carefully. Years ago, my mother-in-law invited us to a client's home to pick up some workout equipment. Let's call her client Barbara, a successful attorney living in a stunning $4 million mansion. The house was breathtaking, over 4,500 square feet, with a pool, an outdoor kitchen, and endless rooms. Yet, as I walked through the clutter of unpacked boxes and unused belongings, I noticed something was wrong with the whole picture. I perceived that she was not, in reality, successful. Sure, her monetary and physical abundance gave the impression of success, but the overall picture was depressing. Why? Barbara was alone and had no one to share this fantastic home with. No spouse, no children, and of course, no grandchildren. Her home filled with stacks of cookbooks and forgotten trinkets reminded me of horror shows, beautiful on the outside but heavy with unspoken loneliness. That day, I learned a profound lesson. Monetary abundance without loving relationships is empty. I felt richer than ever. Not because of money, but because of my joyful marriage and growing family. I'd spent years chasing career milestones and financial success, often feeling like I'd fallen short. But seeing Barbara's life shifted my perspective. I realized I already had what truly mattered: love, connection, and people to share life's joys with. It made me feel even more successful since I was now happily married. We have a child, and overall, we experience great happiness in our marriage and family life. It made me hyper-aware and highly grateful for something I had that was sorely lacking in this woman's life. It made me wonder how many more people were in a similar situation. How many people are fearful that they will end up in the same situation? I believe that subconsciously she was trying to fill a dark, empty feeling with all the things she kept piling up in this massive home. I felt like $1 billion and realized that no amount of money could ever replace what I had already created. I felt richer than ever, not because of money, but because of my joyful marriage and growing family. Pursuing these things with unrelenting force will create great happiness. We are now being forced to redefine and decide what happiness truly is. Some people are selfishly too invested in the way others perceive them. I understand the idea of to each his own and recognize that every soul is on its unique journey. However, it's essential to observe how extreme obsession can blind you to the wealth you already possess. Many influential people have an overwhelming agenda. They are invested in shaping your perception of life and may seek to manipulate your feelings and perceptions of what true success looks or feels like. Luxury and glamour are marketed as symbols of happiness, joy, and peace. They tell you true happiness is found in receiving other people's recognition or worship as they observe your lifestyle. It's okay to desire material wealth and fame, but having the right expectations is better. Be realistic. You are reading this book because you want to know what it takes to create a long-term, mind-blowing, loving relationship. You are ultimately reading this book because you desire a loving, fulfilling marriage and a wonderful home full of love, peace, and joy. You desire to experience the connection and nurturing of having a family. You may even have considered that having a partner you trust fully is hyper-relevant. You likely want to grow with a soulmate and envision having grandchildren down the road as the ultimate success. It's also important to you that this experience feels safe and secure. You desire your current or future marriage to be a safe haven, a foundation for exciting and joyful experiences throughout your life. How often do we hear the statistic that recent research shows 1 in 2 marriages end in divorce? A simple Google search reveals that second and third marriages tend to experience divorce even more quickly. I suggest that the social structure is in grave danger and that the natural connection of humanity is collapsing because couples are just not creating close and long-lasting family bonds. Younger and middle-aged people are desperate for meaningful connections, but are clueless about how to create authentic, lasting, meaningful bonds. Most don't understand what it takes to build a lasting and loving relationship. Also, many young men and women are addicted to negative emotional roller coasters as they jump from relationship to relationship and have been tricked into thinking that these experiences are normal and desirable. Large corporate conglomerates and governments have recognized this trend and are employing propaganda to persuade people that drastically different cultures should be integrated into Western society. The challenge lies in the word integrate. Many of these populations, which come from vastly different cultures, often resist any attempts at integration or assimilation. Frequently, they promote the same ideas and behaviors that contributed to the issues they initially sought to escape from. Why are they doing this? Because publicly traded companies are legally obligated to produce profits for their investors. The dwindling population will reduce future earnings from selling basic consumer goods. Some argue that in first world nations, declining populations resulting from fewer marriages and births are being offset by rapid immigration. Is this immigration agenda being driven by corporate greed for profits and political agendas seeking votes? Is this social dilemma stemming from the rise of technology and dating apps, which have created a perception of countless options for romantic relationships? Does this challenge lie in the fact that this new sense of freedom, which I emphasize as perceived freedom, has expanded our awareness of what freedom entails? Is it not an objective observation to say, once individuals experience forms of freedom, it becomes challenging, if not impossible, to revert to what they perceive as lesser freedoms? But is infinite choice true freedom? How often have you caught yourself doom scrolling through social media, exploring the endless possibilities for content consumption? Or how often have you found yourself scrolling through the endless options of streaming services with their endless choices of movies and shows? Did you not find yourself spending more time zoning out or hypnotized just scrolling through the options? It reminds me of a conversation I had in 2006 with an aunt I asked to help me make an engagement ring for my now wife. Most of my family was surprised that I had decided to get married at a young age. But my aunt was different. She sat down with me and said candidly and with pride, "Julian, you are making a great decision, and I am so happy you have decided to take this step at such a young age." I was surprised to hear her say that, so I asked her why she would say that. I had the impression that she would tell me that maybe I should have an established career or business before making what now most people perceive as a mind-blowing leap into the unknown hell of uncertainty that is marriage. She said that she observed many young people to pick up bad habits when they wait too long to choose marriage. I partly blame TV shows and movies for always portraying marriage and having children as the ultimate altar where you sacrifice all personal freedom and self-determination. Media giants, with their so-called friendly and family sitcoms, are relentless in portraying babies or children as figurative demonic spawns from hell. They portray that children are the ultimate seal and nail on the coffin of what is left of your personal awareness of finally living a life of choice. Is this one of the reasons why abortion and the marketing of contraception products are at an all-time high? I promise these observations are not indictments, but they are my observations, and you are free to disagree. It is obvious that this false awareness and the belief that family structures are the ultimate self-generated jail cage have been hyper-marketed to young people. And now, first world nations are paying the price with declining population demographics described as unsustainable. Desperation is setting in. With anxiety and uncertainty, humanity's future keeps being narrated as hopeless and in danger. Is it, though? But I am here to promise you, I'm not here to indict anyone, but these patterns are hard to ignore. They want you to believe that close, lasting relationships are outdated or unattainable. I'm here to challenge that lie. You're reading this book because you want a mind-blowing, loving relationship, a partnership that feels safe, joyful, and enduring. You dream of a home filled with love, perhaps with children or grandchildren, where you grow old with someone you trust. I lived that dream mostly, still too young for grandchildren, for nearly 2 decades, and I believe you can too. In fact, I am here to tell you with absolute certainty that these social constructs can now, more than ever, be foundations for stability and sources from which you can withdraw unbelievable joy, peace, and emotional and physical prosperity. I know that sounds like a considerable promise, but after almost 20 years of personal experience, I believe I have broken a significant code you can replicate to experience the same. Massive amounts of money are being wasted to keep you ignorant of it, and we are talking about a massive movement worldwide for what I perceive to be a dark, anti-human agenda. But why are these forces going to such lengths to disempower you and me? What if the secret to a truly extraordinary relationship lies not in chance, but in a powerful, unseen code they don't want you to know about? In the quantum code to mind-blowing loving relationships, we decode the transformative principles that blend science, spirit, and connection to unlock love's deepest potential. This isn't about chasing fleeting romance or societal ideas. It's about rewiring your heart and mind to forge bonds that resonate at the quantum level, vibrant, unshakable, and utterly magical. By the time you finish this book, you'll see through the false narratives and embrace the joy of building a lasting, loving legacy. Get ready to discover the code to a life filled with love.